Hi, and welcome back to the Essential Coaching Skills Podcast. I'm really happy to have you back, and I'm happy to have my guest today, Michael Nadalin. Michael is from Australia. He is the CEO of marketlead.com.au. And part of the mission of this Essential Coaching Skills Podcast is to present information, teachings that will help you as a coach become the best coach you can be, and also to offer some things to how you can grow the best coaching business that you can. Part of what we have to do as coaches is to let the world know that we're out there as coaches. You may be the best coach in the world, but if nobody knows that or has heard of you or knows how to find you, then they're not going to be beating a path to your door, with any regularity, let's just say. So we need to do marketing. So marketlead.com promises that you can generate more leads, clients, and sales this month with their services. And they will show you how to predictably achieve your goals with advanced Google sales, paid ads, and high converting landing pages. So we're going to do that in just a minute, learn all about that from Michael Nadalin as soon as we start the program. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. You are listening to the Essential Coaching Skills Podcast, a show devoted to uncovering the systems and the secrets that set the best apart, where you learn how to take your coaching clients to the next level, while you grow the coaching practice of your dreams. So sit back and relax, or sit up and get excited. Either way, you might want to pay attention. This could be important. Hey, Michael Nadalin, welcome to the show.
Hi, Doug. How you going, mate?
It's going very well, thank you. And every time I watch that video of me like 10 years ago, I'm like, I should probably update some of this.
I love it, mate. You look amazing. You look amazing now and then.
Now, yes, now and then. Now and then I look amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so enough about me. Let's talk about you, Michael Nadalin. So what the heck is this business? So before we get started, you're from Australia and you're what, 20?
Yes, I'm 21. No, I'm in my 30s. I'm young 30s. And I just want to say this before we start, just for anyone watching. It would be hard for Doug and I to not crack jokes through the whole thing. So there'll be an element of professionalism here. Even though we're both great in our fields, every time we chat, we're always just like cracking jokes and saying, yeah, making dark humor. So today you might sense that there's indirect jokes happening. That's probably happening. And you can be invited as part of that as well. So the good thing about business and life is you can enjoy it. You can make jokes along the way. So if that's happening today, it's part of the show.
Thank you for that proviso. So, so how did you get so damn good at what you do? Because you're worth like what, $84 million or something like that, billions.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not worth that yet.
Well, you are, in my estimation. You're totally worth every penny.
Yeah, maybe in like not in USD or Australian dollars, maybe in some other foreign currency where $1 worth $1 million. So my journey, well, today we're going to be talking about helping coaches. Coming back to the objective or outcome of this is helping coaches or people who work in like this coaching industry market their business, get more leads, and then ultimately get more clients and sales. And that's the biggest gap that most businesses have. I've noticed this over time that 80% of businesses' issues are around sales, and then 20% is like doing the work and fulfillment. Sure. And I presume here, most people watching this, they're probably really good at the fulfillment side. They've probably spent hundreds, thousands of hours getting their skills and like their coaching skills, NLP, hypnosis, all the other related field skills up to a certain level. So the fulfillment side, I'm sure that they're quite confident with. Yes, we can always get better, but most times people are trying to optimize that 20% of just doing the work. The other 80% of running a business is actually getting the clients. Now, some people believe, and it's a nice belief, but it really isn't true because I've worked with literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of businesses. I'm just shy of spending $100 million on ads myself for clients. So I've spent a lot of money. I've worked with heaps of businesses, enterprise to small business. And I just see the same issues there, which is they're good at what they do. They just have not been able to grow their business because they haven't been able to get the leads and sales to support the vision of their business. So I've been doing advertising, like ads, like Google ads, Facebook ads, landing pages, just like that digital marketing and consulting for about 10 years now. And I've worked at 3 agencies, and now I run my own company. And just through that time, I've just had like a 20 doctorate degrees in just like business and advertising, because when you're on the front line trying to and helping businesses get leads and sales, you see everything. You see all the highs and you see all the lows as well. So that's a bit of a background on today's talk, and also a bit about myself as well so
Right.
far.
So yeah, thank you very much, because it's interesting to me that you're right. People spend 80% of their time working on their skill sets, and part of the book, the E-Myth, I don't know if you've read that one, about how the entrepreneurial myth is that if you start your own business, then you're an entrepreneur. Sort of, but often what you are is an overworked technician, because you're having to do all the other stuff. You're not just doing your coaching, you're also doing the advertising, you also do the bookkeeping, you're also doing all sorts of other things, which take you away from your main goal, which is, in our case, many of us listening, is to be the best coach you can be.
Yeah.
So to be the best marketer is another skill set. And you've answered my question by saying you spent all that time in agencies and working. This was your job. This is what you did. This is what your focus was. Got it. Okay, good. So I was just wondering, how do you come by this skill at the tender young age? Because I've been in the business as long as you've been alive.
I know. And I'll literally say this, I've been probably one of the most fortunate people I know, because when I finished university, rather than going on a zigzag of different endeavors, I did a graduate role in a marketing agency, was put in the Google Ads team, which so data driven and so analytical. And they originally were wanting to put me in like the copywriting team, which I am good at copywriting, or if people don't know what copywriting is, it's basically it's like writing text for ads so it incentivizes people to buy. And I just from day one, I was just put in the dream job, because that was the skill that got me to where I am right now. So I didn't have to have all these career changes. And so I've just been able to have 10 years dedicated at one craft. Obviously, Google Ads, which most people should know is just the ads on top of Google. Google is one of the biggest companies in the world. 90% of their revenue comes from advertising. It's a really, really, really tough and hard industry, because people can make a lot of money from it. So I've spent 99% of my time in there, and then the rest, not 99%, maybe 90% of my career in Google Ads, and then very recently a lot on Facebook ads, which is really essential for probably a lot of coaches and businesses, and then the website type of stuff as well. So it's just been a very clear linear path from the start.
Very cool. So how do we get started if we're coaches? Let's just say hypothetically, there is a guy who I know, hypothetically, who
John.
has learned a lot about coaching and hypnosis and NLP and sleight of mouth and things like that. And the skill set is good, maybe considerable. And yet he, let's just say in this case, in this hypothetical situation, doesn't know crap about Google ads or Facebook ads. How does one in that situation go about learning and using them to get the traffic and attention that coach needs?
Wonderful.
Hypothetically,
So let's call this friend John.
Okay.
So my friend John.
My friend John. That's good.
My friend John. People who know what that means will know what it means. And if you don't, you're not good enough at hypnosis. Let's just say that. So
my friend John here. Go ahead.
My friend John. My friend John. So there's 2 roads we can go down right now. And I just want to I'll give the meta view, the high level view, and then we can get to specifics, because the issue is if we get too much to tactics, we can lose what the higher vision is. So
very good.
There's originally we were talking about when you're messaging about this, like the context was last week, Doug and I were on a coaching consulting call. He was coaching me, by the way. There's no power struggles here. And I said to him, mate, I love the podcast. Can you have some awesome guests back on because it's like amazing. I love it. And he's like, why don't you come on? And he goes, why don't you come on about marketing? Now, marketing, I do advertising. Marketing is a subset. Sorry, advertising is a subset of marketing. So we'll talk about the marketing part and then we'll talk about the advertising. The advertising is about running ads to get clients. The marketing is your overall systems to try to get new clients. And advertising or paid ads is one of them, but not all of it. So I would start off with this. And I'm saying this because I'm actually going to start my own coaching business, very niche type of coaching business. I'll drop it right now. I am looking to do hypnotherapy for business owners to make more money, basically, very niche area about how to. And so I'm going to be doing this myself. And I help a lot of clients do this. So on the first level, you've just got to get really clear. What is your business? Like, write it down. What is your coaching business? What modalities do you do? NLP, hypnotherapy, havening, like you do Reiki. Like a lot of coaches who will watch this, they'll also be in those energy healing fields as well. I know that because a lot of the people who I work on are in cross modalities. So just firstly understand like what are the modalities that you offer? Because at the end of the day, people aren't just looking for a life coach. They'll be looking for hypnotherapist or they'll be looking for a Reiki or an energy healer. So got to remember is people are looking for the service. So you've got to be clear on what your services are rather than just being like, oh, I do coaching. People don't write in Google, I'm looking for coaching or life coaching. As much as we want them to, they're probably looking for more of a specific niche. So get really clear on what you offer because it's once you're clear, the world will be clear. If you're not clear, they won't be clear. So it's even just doing a mental exercise first. What are my services that I offer? What do I actually want to offer as well? You can be doing a lot of things, but you don't want to do it. So get really clear on what you want to be doing first. Number one. Number two is you need to start building up your online presence. And this is like, I know this may sound really common sense, but it really is important. The two things you need to be doing is number one, you need to have a good website. Now, a lot of people try to do cheap websites and then it makes them look cheap. So it's really important that your online, how you present yourself online is how people are going to perceive you as well. So be really cautious and aware that by doing your website in a certain way, it will literally magnetize people to want to work with you, or it'll be like, I don't know if they're good at their craft because you will not be perceived on your craft based on how good you are. It will be based on how people see you. So your website's really important. Now, websites can cost from a low amount to $10,000-$15,000, and that can be standard. I'm not saying that to worry people. At the same time, you can actually get really, really, really good high quality templates. And I just want to plug someone right now because I work with her, and she's the consultant I work with as well. She has worked with dozens of coaches and in these holistic fields and NLP and hypnotherapy, and she's created a lot of like templates. So people, rather than spending thousands of dollars yourself on getting someone to do it, there's a pre-made template, really high quality, made for coaches. And you can literally get it, put it onto Squarespace, which is a website hosting platform, and just edit it. And you've got this stunning looking website that would probably cost you $10,000 to do yourself or get someone to do for a template for a few $100s. And so that would be available at quantastudio.com.au or .com. I don't have the specific URL, but I just wanted to say that because when you start off a business in coaching, you will have a lot of costs and you need to know where do you allocate your resources. A website is going to be so important, and you can try to get it really cheap online and you'll look cheap, or you can get a really snazzy one, but you're spending too much of your capital. This would be the best. This is more of a strategy recommendation. Get a high quality template like this.
Could we just ask you a quick question? How do you spell that? Because I couldn't quite make out the word you said.
Quanta Studio.
Yeah.
Quantuma Studio, STUDIO. And I think it's / there'll be a tab up there called templates / or Squarespace templates. And I'm even looking at it right now. And a lot of these templates are actually on sale. Let me see if I can actually share my screen right now.
I'm not sure you can do that on this screen, on this platform. You can try.
Does that work?
I'm not sure. That's sad.
There we go.
Whoa,
Can you see that?
I can.
Yeah, so you can see that these are very high-end, like luxe kind of designs. And I'm only saying this because I know a lot of coach friends who have used it and had amazing results. So for a
Very nice.
few $100s, they're on special at the moment. I don't know how long they're going to special for. You
Okay.
can do that. So just wanted to say that because I want this to be
Yeah.
practical.
No,
So
and I
you
appreciate that. 'Cause let me just say this about that. Sometimes people think if they build a website, that's all they have to do in the world is have that. But I know it's a
no,
great first step. You know, but
yes,
it's kind of like it has to. Your ads have to take you someplace, so there has to be a place to go. And
yes,
the better it can be, the better it can be. And also know that I've had a lot of websites over the years that sometimes they can cost you a lot of money and not be good.
yeah,
So one wants to spend their money wisely. You know, it's an
yes,
investment where you get, return on your investment is great. An
yeah,
investment where you just like send a lot of money down a hole is not so great. So this sounds like it's actually going to be something very, very
yeah,
worthwhile, which is wonderful. I appreciate that.
yeah. I get no commission from that. I just want to help out people here. Now, number two on the recommendation is that's where you're going to send people to. So when people are going to contact you, they need to go to a place to contact. That would be your website. Now, how do people find you? So this is a saying that I've heard that's stuck with me. Visibility equals profitability. The more you're seen, the more opportunities you get. So this is where you've got to start figuring out, where am I going to be seen? Where do I want to be seen? And where am I going to also show up? So you can do YouTube, which you can do videos if you want to be doing that. A lot of people right now in the coaching industry are doing Instagram or TikTok as well. Now, the thing about these channels are there are people who make millions of dollars from their coaching businesses from these channels. But the difference between them and you is that they show up consistently. They break through that resistance. They do constant testing and they put themselves out there. I see a lot of coaches who are, I think it might just be a generation older than me, that they're just reposting some like stock image of like a positivity or some balloons or something, then write some inspirational under that. You can't do that. It needs to be personal. People need to see your face. They need to feel like they're creating a personal connection with you. If Doug was doing that, I wouldn't have reached out to him for, one-on-one coaching consulting. Like, it's because I'd seen his face for so long and I trusted him and I saw his face and I saw his content on YouTube that I was like, I want to get one-on-one coaching with him. And we've been doing it now for a few months and I'm continuing to do it. The reason why is because I've been able to see his face. I know he's trustworthy. I know his content's legit. And I'm like, I've got a lot of value from this. I want to take this further. So on the, would call the organic side, you need to be posting consistently and decide on one channel. Don't try to do TikTok and Instagram on YouTube. Just choose one channel that you feel like you'd consistently show up for, that you're willing to put your face out there for, to record videos and talk about yourself. Because I recognized when I started my business, the reason why I had such a big growth at the start was because out of 100 people, let's just say, who are good at advertising, um, 50 of them would do nothing. They'll just be lurkers hiding in the background. The next, let's just say 30 would be writing blogs on their website, but no one's seeing those blogs. The next 15 are posting on social media with text, which is great. And then the last 5, which I was one of those 5, like hypothetically, I was posting videos. So because I was posting videos, people saw me. People aren't reading your text. When they see you, there's this effect that I like to call like the Hollywood effect. That if you put your face on camera on Instagram or on YouTube, I have this belief system that people don't know the difference between that and seeing you on a movie screen or a TV screen, because their mind's perceiving you as this figure on the other side of a screen. And I've just had so many times when people go on calls like, I've watched so many of your videos. This is crazy. I'm like, cool, man. Like, I'm still a normal guy. But that's the thing, is
Yeah.
you can start to create a bit of this charismatic it factor around yourself by just putting yourself out there. So that's just where I want to leave that, is whatever you're craft is and whatever you want to be coaching in, start creating content about it. I guarantee you guys that you've all watched people in your field who are on YouTube or Instagram who have hundreds, thousands of followers. And at times you might even go, I'm better than them. But it doesn't matter how good you think you are, it's that you're not being perceived as better. So it's
Mhm.
really important. You've got to be seen. Visibility equals profitability.
May I just ask, so you are recommending that people do not do more than one channel, either YouTube or Instagram or TikTok?
I would recommend that they stick to one channel, because the thing is, if you go for one, then you go for two, then you go for three, and then you just get too spread out, you get overwhelmed, because this is a time and consistency thing. It's not like you just do one amazing post. The crazy thing is you'll do amazing posts and you'll never be seen. And then you'll start doing more and more posts that you think are less, like, a more average, and people are more engaged. So the algorithm rewards consistency and showing up and having people engaged. So I would recommend from the start one channel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Great.
there we
Thank
go. But I've got a few notes I've just written down here. So that one, visibility equals profitability, it really moves into this next side of creating your own personal brand,
Yeah.
where if you do multi-modalities, it's not that you're getting stuck to being a hypnotherapist or an energy healer. It's over time, as humans, we grow and we change. And if your business or identity is too locked into one modality, you might feel like you're limited and you can't change. So by turning this into a bit more of a personal brand where you show your personality and it, as you evolve and your audience evolves with you, you will be able to start offering new services and new skills as they come in as well, which I've done. When I started, it was purely Google ads. I did a bit of Facebook ads on the side because I'd spent quite a bit of money there, but I wasn't offering it as a main service. But
Mhm.
now it's part of the main service as I've evolved up as well. So know that by creating this personal brand and putting yourself out there, you can grow and evolve in public where people will start to follow your journey as well.
So let me ask you one other question then. You've mentioned before that we should have a high quality website, because if it's cheap, then you're perceived as cheap. What about the quality of the output that you're putting onto YouTube, onto Facebook, onto these other things? Do those, how does one put good quality stuff out there?
Yeah. So how John would do this is
I was asking on John's behalf, so I appreciate you referring back
you
to
don't need
asking.
to spend a lot of money here. And this is where people can get overwhelmed. When I started, if you look back at my old videos in my channel, I've got a YouTube channel, it was just literally my iPhone and just no microphone, and the quality is really bad. But for me, I was like, consistency over quality, because I just knew that if I showed up, the quality would always improve. There's this old tale, which is, I don't even know it's old, but there was basically saying, a teacher said to a class, one person, you just make one beautiful clay pot and just do one and see how good you can get it. And to the other people in the class was like, make as many clay pots as possible. Don't worry about the quality. And at the end of it, the people who just did a lot of it with lower quality, their quality was much better than the person just trying to do one thing one time at the best quality. So when doing this, I would be going for looking to do volume. Also, use your iPhone. The iPhone quality is amazing now. Like with the new settings, like I use my iPhone, like this is through my iPhone right now.
Yeah, so the camera that we're using right now on this podcast is his iPhone.
Yeah.
For me, I'm on my laptop, my
Yeah. Doug isn't
MacBook
using
Pro.
my iPhone. I'm
I'm not
using my
using it. That's just to be clear. He's using his iPhone.
So
I'm using my
the
iPad.
iPhone is that you don't need all these expensive, fancy cameras either. Just turn on some good lights. I've got a microphone here, so this is a Shure microphone. It only cost me a few $100 off Amazon. And if you're really serious about this stuff, you just invest a few $100. Your iPhone's already a camera. You don't need a studio, and the iPhone does light correction. So the next thing is, once you've got this material, it's like, what do you talk about? And that's when you start doing what I've been doing with my new businesses. You just ask people what their challenges and issues are. And then you just record videos about answering those issues. A lot of people, when they get engaged with your work, it's not because you're talking about yourself, you're helping them solve an issue that they have. they've got an issue that they're either aware of or they're not aware of, and you start speaking about it. And I would, yeah, that's how I do. Like if as I'm doing it, and as I have done it, and as I'd recommend, is just create content consistently to be seen. And
Okay.
it's hard. You'll hit resistance and you'll be like, oh, I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't like how this looks. It's like, this isn't a time to be perfectionistic and think about it. Just rate yourself on one metric. Did I put something out there? Yes or no?
And strive to make it better. It's okay to get content out there that's fine, and say, okay, it's done, it's better than nothing, let's go. And say,
Yeah.
well, how can I make it better for next time? Do I get a circle light that improves the lighting, or
Yeah.
or how do I make it better? Buy this microphone for $99 and stick it up there.
That's
How
it.
do I make it better? And just little by little by little, you improve it.
Yeah.
Like the pot makers, after they made 1,000 pots, it's like, I've got this down now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it becomes a point where you will really start to enjoy it and it will become part of your identity because
Mm.
it is wild the amount of people who I see like I know personally or through friends of friends who are like hundreds of thousands of followers and behind the scenes you just realize it's all smoke and mirrors. It's like they're just crap. They've been to like a 2-day NLP course. They watched like one video on hypnotherapy online. But the thing is, you're not rewarded for how good you are. You're rewarded for just how much you put yourself out there and market yourself and consistently show up. And a
Mm.
lot of those people probably have a very different mindset to the people who watch this, which the people who watch this are probably going, I want to get better at my craft. And that's amazing, but it's not going to make you rich. It's not going to help you grow a business because then you're just relying on some sort of like, if I'm good enough, then all this stuff will happen. I've done that myself. It doesn't work. You've got to connect with people. You've got to be seen.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. So I will also just say this, the return customers are based on how good you are. Like
Definitely.
if you had found me through the podcast and I sucked as a coach, you wouldn't have been signing up for, another 3-month cycle.
Yeah.
It was, you know, so it's an important thing because then also you get referrals, which is a big thing. If you have 1,000 people on your mailing list, that you're going to run out of things to sell them after a while.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a good product and they're telling their friends about it and their friends are telling their friends about it, then, referrals is a great way to get repeat customers. So you want both,
Yes.
right?
Definitely.
You want to have a good quality product and you also want to get people to know about it.
Yeah. Referrals will be based on your work and getting the original work will be based on your marketing.
There you go.
At some point, you should be getting to a point where your business is mostly referrals, not because you're relying on it, but because the quality of your work is that good. And it needs to be that good. Like you're helping people with their minds and their bodies. Like you want to be good at this stuff. And I know when I see coaches or like an acupuncturist or energy healers and stuff, like I rant and rave about them after because they're good. But it's
Yeah.
because I've obviously done my research beforehand. And yeah, that's the next thing I just wanted to talk about is look for a recurring revenue model. Basically, if you can have coaching packages, because it's one thing to do the marketing, but you've got to understand the economics of your business as well. If you're just getting people through for a few $100s a session and you just work like doing one-to-one kind of session things where it's like they come in once and you're gone, you need to figure out a way where you can maybe do a bulk session or a 6-month thing, or figure out a way where you can get money consistently coming in, as well as, so you got the recurring revenue, which is retention, I'd call it, but then also a strategy around referrals. So figuring out a way where you can present to your clients going, look, this is what I say to clients, these words. I go, I really enjoy working with you. You're like the perfect client. So you're actually giving them a compliment. So there'll be reciprocity needed. And I'll be like, if you got any friends who are like you, I would love it for you to connect us just because it's so easy to work with you. It's so enjoyable. You're the perfect client. So if you know anyone like you, please let them know. You don't get things unless you ask for it.
Yeah.
On a
Yeah.
website, you don't get people to submit a form unless you ask them to submit a form. You don't get people to want to click through on an ad unless you tell them to. It's called a call to action, and you can do it at every stage of your business, even with current clients who you're really happy with, who you feel like are connected to the type of people that you want to consistently work with.
Cool. Beautiful. And are those call to actions as you put them in your podcast? Or, I mean, how do you, when you say
Yeah,
that?
so you could just be like at the end of the podcast or like a video, you can be like, click below to get a free PDF guide. Click here to get this free MP3 file on your website. It could be sign up to this newsletter to get access to these goodies. If you want to work with us, we've got 5 spots less. Contact us now and book in your spot for this month. Just very different ways to tell people what to do. If you don't tell people what to do, they won't do it.
Mm.
So there's a really amazing book, and I'm trying this part of my life now, I'm avoiding telling people to go to other resources because you can use research as resistance. So it's just like, do the things we say here. But there's a really great book that Doug has mentioned to me, and I've known of it. Actually, I'm not going to mention it so people don't actually go for it, because they've got this thing in it called the caveman test, and it's all the grunt test. So when someone sees your content or they see your website, within 4 seconds, they've got to answer 3 questions. Number 1, what do you do? So your headline on your website, it's really clear what you do. Number 2, what's in it for me? Just because you do it, what's the benefit to me? What's the outcome I'm going to achieve? And then number 3, what do I need to do next? Like, what's the next action step? So with all your marketing, all your content, all your websites, make sure it's clear what you do, what the benefit is for someone, not the features, what the benefit, the outcomes are, and what they need to do right now. What action should they take?
Yeah. There's a book many years old now, in the early days of making websites, called "Don't Make Them Think," and I'm not recommending the book. It's dated. It's not new anymore. But the idea is still the same. It's caveman test. Do this.
Yes.
Point here. Click here. It's just, don't make them think. Just say, here, do this. Yeah.
As time goes on now, and you think that the more successful or wealthy someone is, which is ultimately the type of clients people want, you think they're smarter than everyone else. Now they are, but because they're smart doesn't mean that they're going to like go through all your documentation and read everything. They're busy. They're fast paced. They just need to know the high level things fast. What do you do? What's the outcome you'll help them get or benefit, and what they need to do now? Like, if you're not hitting those things, the type of clients you want, if you're writing paragraphs and all this stuff, or on your website, it's not clear, they're going to go, it's too much. I'll come back to it later. You want them to go, cool, cool, cool. Yep, let's just quickly book in a call. And by having that approach, yes, you'll feel like you're not being thorough enough, but also you'll get people who are fast paced coming to you, which is kind of the clients you want. You want people who are busy people, because then they expect less from you as well. So the other quick note I have is you've got to connect with people in your industry. You can't be a lone wolf. Everyone thinks that, I've got all this competition. You don't. You really don't. That's a very famine mentality. There is enough work out there. And by connecting with others in your industry and this is more importantly, connect with people who are getting the results that you want. Like, who you surround yourself with, you become. And the thing about this is, if you just try to do this all you're by yourself, watch videos online and just grind it out, you will be doing it based on a false premise of whatever paradigm you're in. You want to be around people who are achieving the similar or exact result you want. Connect with them. And the thing is, they will give you, rather than you spending hours of doing stuff, they will just be like, just do this one thing. And you're like, ugh. They will answer the questions you never knew you had. They'll give you the insights and the guidance you didn't know you needed. It's really important to connect with people who are achieving the results or have been down the path further, just by being around them, there's just this osmosis energy that happens. You pick stuff up, and just don't be too proud of it. You don't have competition. Everyone, like, if you have that mentality, it's like just me versus everyone, then you will have that created. Versus if you want to be connected with people, they will start referring you clients. They will start giving you insights. So connect with people in your industry who are achieving the results or who are further down the path than you are.
Great. Beautiful.
And they're kind of like my notes. So, Doug, I've just kind of rambled for a long time, and we haven't even done a joke for a while. So, do you have any questions so we can get the mood?
Joke going?
Does your mate John, sorry, your friend John, not your mate, that's Australian Erickson.
Thing, yeah.
Does your mate John have any questions?
Well, if John were here, he'd probably say, okay, so what's my first step? What do I do? If, let's say I already have a website and I want to do Google ads or Facebook ads or ads, where do I start?
Wonderful. Great question. So we've talked a lot about that marketing and your identity and getting clear. The advertising side is where you're paying to get traffic through. So what I was just talking about there with the Instagram and TikTok, that's what they call organic. So it's free, but it's free, which means there's more people in that crowd. So it's kind of like you're fighting over everything. Paid advertising means you get to push to the top. You literally, on Google, your ads will show at the top, or on Facebook, you'll be seen by people who are part of your target audience. Now, this really comes down to the economics of it. You've got to make sure that the economics work for your business. Most coaches, advertising will not be economical because they'll either not charge enough or have a higher lifetime value, being it they only get $180 a session or $300 a session, and that sounds great, but that's a once-off. They haven't figured out how to do that $300 into a $3,000. It could be multiple coaching and then upsell of an info product. So getting really clear on how you can increase the lifetime value of a client, because the higher the value of the client, the more you can spend on advertising to acquire the client.
Right.
So for advertising on Google, this is where, and I'm not pitching myself, I probably won't be able to work with the people who watch this because I work with bigger clients, but you'd want to be working with someone who has had success in the past running ads for coaches or consultants, because advertising, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, is getting really aggressive, really hard, and people just burn thousands of dollars on ads and get no results because the platforms are not set up for you to succeed. They're set up to vacuum your money for Google and Facebook. So if you were to start off, I'd be recommending this. Number one, get your website done, get it really clear. So when you do get people coming there, you do know that they are going to take action, submit a form. Number two, build your personal profile. So people, there's a bit of an authority or trust factor. I'm going for some of those Robert Cialdini influence factors, trust, authority, social proof. Then number three, I'd be looking at having some sort of free offer. So it might be download this MP3 file, these guided NLP exercises, or download this guided hypnotherapy, or access this Reiki healing video, something that by people giving their information over to you, they're getting value back. So at least you can build maybe an email list or a following on your social media. Once you're doing that, and then also next is like figure out your economics in your business. You've got to make sure this is a business at the end of the day, not just like some non-for-profit. Then when it comes to advertising, get really clear on, okay, a client is worth to me $3,000. How much am I willing to spend to acquire that client? $100, $500, $1,000. Figure out the economics. Break it down. How many leads do I need? Like you might get 10 leads and only one of them turn into a client. So then if clients are worth $3,000 and you want to acquire them for $1,000 and it's 1 in 10, it means that you need to get your leads for $100. And then based on those leads, how many clicks do I need to the website to turn into leads? So you might need 10 clicks or 20 clicks. And then you can start reverse engineering all the numbers down to like the exact dollar you need to be spending on ads. Now, I don't know if we can go over that on this video right now, but just use an Excel sheet, get a calculator out, you'd be able to do it based on that. And when you run advertising, there are so many, you can watch my channel, but there's so many people online teaching how to do advertising. There's so many people doing it as well. I would pitch myself right now, but I'm usually quite busy running a company. I usually work with big clients, but if you feel the call to reach out, don't feel shy as well. No, because I don't want to make myself inaccessible. Like I'm driven to help people. Like I feel like this is one of my purposes in life, to help people become rich through advertising for their business. And
what is your channel? You said people can watch your stuff wherever they find
Market Lead. If you just Google Market Lead, if you go on YouTube and just look up Market Lead, I'll have a channel there.
And so you've got lots of how-to videos that are available.
Yeah, how-to videos, more strategic videos. There's a lot of how-to videos online. And yeah, I've done a lot of videos on just like the 101s or like the 80-20 principles of advertising. But the main thing with advertising on Google Ads, I'll give like 3 top points for now right now.
Yeah.
If you don't understand this, I'm not explaining a way for you to get on this call. Do some further research. Number 1 on Google, only target keywords that are relevant to your service. Don't go for life coach. Look for people looking for like Reiki healer plus your city, New York, or hypnotherapist, New York, whatever your service is plus location. Make those the keywords you go after. Number 2, this is for Google Ads. Check your search terms and add negative keywords, which means basically Google will show you for a lot of random types of things related to that, colored away. A lot of success in Google is about not doing the right things. It's about avoiding doing the wrong things. Number 3, check your settings. Google will want you just to spray and pray everywhere. Do the settings where it's really tight knit to the location you're targeting and on the search network as well. I don't expect people to get that right now, but if you do those 3 things, that's what I do with all the clients spending millions of dollars a month on ads that I'm running for them. It really comes down to that. After 10 years and nearly $100 million spent, it comes down to that. On Facebook ads, you want to be doing 2 things. Number 1, you want to be doing a retargeting audience. So people who've been to your website, retarget them. So then they can see you on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram are the same company. So if you retarget people who've come to your website, they might see your ad on Instagram, or they might see it on Facebook as well. The other thing is on Facebook is content and creative is key. Just make sure your face is seen. Don't try to hide behind weird stock images. Don't do stock images. It's cringe. It doesn't work. I know a lot of people in this industry do it, which is good because they're not going to stand out. No one trusts a stock image website. They trust when they see someone's face. Be seen. So when you're doing your ads, either put your face in it or do a video and have creative. That's, once again, what you do, the benefit to people, and what they need to take action next.
Right.
And lastly, set your budgets at a daily rate that you're comfortable with. $10, $30, $100, whatever it is. Make sure you set your budgets. You don't want to be spending $30,000 in a month, or you don't want to be spending $1 a day.
So also, is there a way to measure that? Like, for instance, if you've made that expenditure, if you've done those things, can you get a return, a way of, I don't know, get like an ad sense of what is actually happening here, what kind of return you're getting on that investment?
Definitely. So that just comes down to basic reviewing the data. You'll set up tracking in your account. So then it will be like, I got 20 clicks on Google and one of them turned into a lead. So it's like a 5% conversion rate.
Right.
So that way in the ad platforms, you can track when someone submits a lead on your website or takes action. So then you can spend more of your time, energy, and effort optimizing keywords, ads, audiences that are aligned with delivering outcomes, getting a lead, turning into a customer.
Great. What I've attempted to do over the years, something I learned a long time ago, is to do a test if possible. So for instance, I might have a Facebook ad that has 2 different images. It's the same ad. All the text is the same, but there's 2 different images to see which one draws more and gets more clicks, or variations like that. So you can split test your list.
Definitely. And that's it. That's probably getting to the next stage of like level B or level 2, which is like doing split tests. The first stage is just setting it up with a really good foundation, having retargeting audiences on Facebook, and some maybe prospecting audiences going after people who are interested in these types of things. Good, clear messages, good video, going to your webpage, you're tracking everything. That's golden. Now, I've said that potentially in a simplistic way. A lot of people mess it up because there is just a bit of a technical aspect to it. And that's why people like me get paid to do it, because it's like saying, oh, a surgeon just tells you, oh yeah, we just cut you open and we just pull that thing out and then we stitch you back up. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's like, I'm not doing that myself.
Right.
The thing about advertising is it's kind of like, oh yeah, like there's so many settings and things that are like an artery that like you think you're doing your self-surgery, but then like you nick this artery and then you're literally hemorrhaging blood. You're like, all right, what have I done here? So that's why I just wanted to put that budget aspect in, because like you will make mistakes, but if you put a certain budget in there, at least you're making mistakes at like $10, $30, $50 a day rather than thousands of dollars.
Yeah, beautiful. Hi, thank you. This has been very, very, very valuable. I appreciate it. And I speaking for John, I'm sure he appreciates it as well. He's a quiet guy, but he's very appreciative.
Yeah,
deep down. Meaning I'm
more of a practical aspect right now. So let's put John to the side and we bring Doug back in.
All right.
someone like you, Doug, I would recommend if
Yeah.
you're wanting to promote your upcoming trainings,
Yeah.
is you could just be doing some Facebook ads where it's only targeting people who've been to your website. So the beauty of the thing is you're running a lot of organic free YouTube videos that people click on the links and go to your website and like, this is cool, and then might bounce and leave. And that's cool. You can set up a tracking code on your website. So then if you've got upcoming trainings, you could be like, look, anyone who's been to my website in the last 180 days, just them, I want to show ads to. And you know that they're only coming to your website because they would have watched one of your videos or heard about you. And then you can start promoting your training. And it's like you're getting a second bite of the cherry. Like they've already come to your site. It's like you actually get the opportunity to sell them. So for someone like you, Doug, you could be spending like, I don't know, like $150 a month promoting your upcoming trainings, but only to people who've been to your website who you know are people who have either watched your videos, who are interested in sleight of mouth or hypnosis. They've been told about you. They've seen you on other podcasts. And so rather than trying to like spend thousands on everyone, you just go for this audience who's already your audience. They're your warm audience. So that's something for someone like you who most likely gets quite a bit of traffic, and you do a lot of training. So that if you spend $150 and you could like nip like maybe an extra 1 or 2 students out of it,
Sweet.
You'd be getting a better return from that.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. I will do that.
I
So,
won't charge you for that either.
you're the best. So thank you very, very, very much. And marketlead.com.au.
Yes. Yeah. And you can find me on LinkedIn. I've got quite a big following on LinkedIn. I post just usual stuff about advertising on there, but marketlead.com.au, marketlead on YouTube, and then Michael Nadalin on LinkedIn.
Michael Nadalin on LinkedIn. Beautiful. And for those of you who are watching, please subscribe below if you liked this. Give it a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate you being here and hope to see you again next time. And Michael, thank you very much. This is great.
You're welcome, Doug. Thank you for having me, mate.
This has been the Essential Coaching Skills Podcast. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure seeing you again. Hope to see you again real soon. Come back next week when we have another gripping and exciting episode of the Essential Coaching Skills Podcast. And if you want to, you can find out more about us, each and every one of us, at essentialcoachingskills.com. Thanks.